Luxury Beats.
We scream God bless the USA, but we're doing it all wrong. I pray that God get fit is keep the message from the song. We run around, but we looking out for our own. Some live for money, some live for God. Yes, we both know. Buying a new buy, whipping a new rhyme, and your dang dollar says that it's trusting in my God. But my eyes are open wide, man can no longer deceive me with his lies. You say I will struggle, but God says I'll survive. Money stands for what you can get from man instead of God. But God meets all my needs, like it's stated in Philippians chapter 4, verse 19. So I aim to please, I keep it G-O-E. That's God over everything by any and all means. You can have your money, keep your greed. I don't need them selfish things, cause they tend to bring the thieves. Possibilities of losing everything. That's what happens, you don't keep your feet with G-O-D. Dear God, all the people that cross my way, I take it as their names through the book of names. Dear God, please, will you keep them all safe and help them change their ways? Will you bless the USA? Dear God, please, will you bless the USA? Cause they sinning every day, getting lost in man's way. Dear God, please, will you bless the USA? I know they fall teaching and preaching man's way. Dear God, all the people that cross my way, I take it as their names through the book of names. Dear God, please, will you keep them all safe and help them change their ways? Will you bless the USA?
So what up, everybody? I felt like it was a need to come on here and just open up, express a little, tell a little story about my life, a little testimony, so for all y'all that know me, don't know me, the name's Adrian, aka AJ, also known as Shorty, from back in the day, but it is what it is. So I just felt the need to come on here and make a little video and just, tell people about, everybody sees what's going on in this world right now. Everybody sees what's happening. Everybody sees the disasters, the anger, the frustration, the destruction of the world, all this evil, you know what I mean? Like, everybody sees what's happening. And if you don't, I don't know, you must be living underneath a rock, you know what I mean? Even the Amish, I guarantee, know what's going on in the world, you know what I mean? Like, you can't be dumb or that blind to what's happening in this world. So I felt like it was a need to come on here and tell people, talk a little bit about racism, and that racism is a choice, you know what I mean? You ain't grown up with, it ain't a fault in the head or something. It ain't like a disease or something that you can't get rid of, you know what I mean? It's a choice. It truly is a choice. You choose to be racist if you're racist, you know what I mean? It ain't a disease. It ain't a sickness, you know what I mean? It's a decision. It's truly a decision, and I am living proof to it, you know what I mean? Because at one point in time in my life, I was racist, you know what I mean? But we're gonna get into that. We're gonna break it down, you know what I mean? Like, don't hold up, don't just stop the video now, you know what I mean? Like, hold up, let me break it down for you real quick. I ain't racist no more, but I was, you know what I mean? I'm man enough to tell y'all I was, you know what I mean? So basically, growing up, living in the south side of Chicago in the burbs, Blue Island, you know what I mean? So, grew up there, born and raised in the Catholic religion, the Catholic Church. Went to Catholic schools all the way from preschool all the way to 6th grade. 7th grade, I started going to public schools. But growing up, I never seen color. Never seen color. Didn't even know, you know what I mean? Like, never really even questioned why this person's lighter than me, this person's darker than me. Never questioned, never wondered, didn't care, you know what I mean? I was a kid growing up, living life like how we should. My best friends from 3rd grade all the way to the end of 6th grade were black. Christopher Stewart and Jamal. I can't remember Jamal's last name, but those two were my best friends from 3rd grade all the way to 6th grade, and they were black. You know what I mean? We would hang out all the time. You know what I mean? Like, after school, we'd hang out. Sometimes they would come over to my house and we go run around the neighborhood and stuff. But yeah, I never seen color. I never stopped to ask or wonder. I really didn't care. You know what I mean? I thought it was normal. You know what I mean? Like, know, you're black, you're white, I'm brown, so what? You know what I mean? We can get along, we get along. But anyway, so come 4th grade, I was able to start going outside to the park. See, we had a park in our neighborhood, and it was right down on the corner. And but see, the thing is, we lived in a gang neighborhood. So on the next road over, that was the actual gang neighborhood. We were not allowed over there. We were not allowed to go on that block. You know, and like any parent should, they were protective over us. We couldn't go see what they were doing over there. We weren't, you know what I mean? That's why it took so long from all the way up till 4th grade to even go outside. And I couldn't just go outside on my own. You know what I mean? I had to have one of my older brothers or somebody take us to the park. If they weren't going to take us to the park, we weren't going out. You know what I mean? But come 4th grade, they were like actually willing to let us go to the park. So they would take us to the park and we'd go play, you know what I mean? And we'd go be kids and run on the slides and swing and jump off the monkey bars and all types of stuff, you know what I mean? And just have fun. I mean, we did all types of sports. We played baseball, football, soccer, kickball, basketball. I mean, you name it, we played it, you know what I mean? And we just had the greatest childhood growing up. So come 4th grade, when I was able to start going out to the park, you know, I started seeing that, like, oh, we live in a gang neighborhood, you know what I mean? Now, I didn't know what gangs were or what a gangbanger was, you know what I mean? I just see these group of people and I'm, you know, I'm curious, you know what I mean? So I started looking around like, okay, so I started watching and paying attention. Every time I would go out, I pay attention to them, you know what I mean? And, you know, their lifestyle kind of drew to me, you know what I mean? I kind of was like, oh, man, I like that lifestyle. You know what I mean? The clothes, the jewelry, they come in with their cars and the rims and the systems and all that, you know what I mean? So it was like, that temptation right there drew me to them. So I was like, man, when I grow up, I want to be one of them. Stupid, you know what I mean? Stupid, but I want to be one of them. So I started portraying something I wasn't. I started acting like this gangbanger. But, you know, I'm a little kid, you know what I mean? My nickname was Shorty. And my anthem, for, you know, my brothers, everybody that knew me around the block, my anthem growing up was Tupac, Shorty Gonna Be a Thug. Stupid now, but it's funny now. But back then, that was my jam. You know what I mean? Like, before I go out, I'm Shorty Gonna Be a Thug. You know what I mean? I'll go outside and go do some dumb things. You know what I mean? But anyways, so I used to go sneak off into the next block over where the gangs were. You know, we weren't allowed there, so, you know, there's been plenty of times my dad would catch me whooping. You know what I mean? But, you know, I'd try to always sneak off into the next neighborhood where they'd actually post up and do whatever they did. You know what I mean? I'd watch. And then they started, you know, noticing me. You know, they started noticing me out there, whatever. So then, you know, I started talking. They started talking. And then, you know, it was like a little thing. And I felt like, I don't know, it was weird. You know what I mean? As a kid, I'm young. You got these people that are way older than you. You know what I mean? Actually, like, acknowledging you, talking to you, this and that. And so you're like, man. You know what I mean? So I started feeling like I was one of them. I was like, man, you know, they accepted me. So I started chilling with them, acting like I'm out, you know what I mean? I never joined the gang, you know what I mean? That's a different story, but I never joined, but I always acted like I was with them, you know what I mean? I always claimed their gang, this and that, da-da-da-da, woo-woo-woo. So, growing up with that gang, I realized they started, you know, teaching me that, you know, that blacks weren't allowed in our neighborhood. Now, anybody that grows up in Chicago knows that, you know, growing up, it kind of was a racial division in the city. You know what I mean? This street separated the blacks from the Mexicans. This street separated the whites from the blacks. This street separated the Mexicans from the whites. You know what I mean? It was segregated. It still is to this day. You know what I mean? There's this side's the blacks, this side's the browns, this side's the whites. You know what I mean? And it's just so segregated. And so they started teaching me, you know what I mean? Like, blacks weren't allowed in our neighborhood, this and that, blah, blah. So I actually, I guess, chose to be racist. I started disliking blacks. I started, you know, the teaching that they taught was like, okay. So I was like, you know what? Don't trust a black person. Black people are my enemies. You know, this is a kid growing up. This is what I'm taught, you know, by other fools, you know what I mean, that choose to do evil, you know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, man, blacks are my enemies. So I stopped really hanging out. I was still friends with my two best friends, but I wasn't best friends no more. We kind of started falling apart. I kind of stopped it, because what I was learning. So I kind of, threw that friendship away, and they were really those are two good friends, like, those are some really good friends. And it's sad because growing up, like when I was in high school, I think it was my sophomore year, I seen Chris at the McDonald's in Calumet Park. I seen Chris, and he came up to me like, yo, and he's like, hey, Adrian, what's up, man? And I looked at him, and by this time, I'm a sophomore year in high school. I'm full-fledged into this stupid excuse my language, stupid gangbanging stuff. I'm already, like, messing up my life. I'm already gone. Well, not gone, but I'm like, basically almost gone. And so I look at, when he come up to me and he's like, yo, I'm like, okay, we about to fight. Because that's, growing up with these gangs, that's what it was. You seen a black person, get ready, we fighting. That's, no questions asked. Swing first, then ask questions. That's what it was. And so it's like, oh, we about to fight. And he's like, and I look at him, I'm start me mugging him, get my, like, who you, and then he's like, whoa, like, and he's with his buddies, like 4 of the black dudes, and I'm, so to my knowledge, I'm like, man, well, I'm about to fight. But he's just like, whoa, like, yo, it's me, Chris. And I look at him, and I'm like, who? He's like, Chris, bro, we used to go to, this thing. I'm like, nah, I don't know you. And what's really messed up? That at that given time when he was like, yo, it's me, Chris, it's Nat, I knew who he was. I knew exactly who he was. I'd be like, oh, what's up, Chris? Damn, how you been? I could have been, a normal person. But I chose to be evil. I chose to be racist. I was like, who? He's like, Chris. And I knew who he was. I was like, nah, I don't know you. And he's like, bro, and he's trying to, like, make me remember, but I already know who he is. But I'm already so far to the wrong side and the evil side with these gangs. I'm just like, nah, I know who you are, bro. Like, get up on my face. Who are you? I don't know you. Back up. And he's just like, you could see he was hurt. Like, bro, we were best friends. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell he was hurt. But I didn't care because I was stupid and foolish, and I chose to be racist. I chose to be racist because I chose the gang style. Because I chose to be something I wasn't. You know what I mean? And sitting back now, just thinking about that, I'm like, man, that was pretty messed up on my half. You know what I mean? Because I knew who he was. But I chose to be like, nah, I don't know you. Get up on my face. You know what I mean? Like, who are you? You know what I mean? Like it was like, I can't be seen talking to you, bro. Get out of my face. Who are you? You know what I mean? Like, if I get caught sitting here talking with black people, I'm gonna get beat up by my own kind. You know what I mean? So it was like, I don't know. It's ignorance. Ignorance is what it really is. And so basically what I'm just out here telling you is like, racism is a choice. You know what I mean? Like, come sophomore year, I got kicked out of high school. Freshman year, sophomore year, end of sophomore year, my family was getting ready to move south from the city, and we moved into a little white town called Grant Park, and that right there really showed me what racism was. You know what I mean? Like, I thought I was really bad, but man, that's what really made me dislike a lot of whites, because growing up from sophomore year all the way to 18 in that area, you know what I mean? Like, the whites didn't like us, you know what I mean? We're like this Mexican family, just moved in, started going to school, you hear all these racist comments, this and that, and I mean, my dad made us move there to get away from all the problems. But then we started getting in more problems. This time it's not gangbanging problems. This is just straight racism problems. You know what I mean? And this is just straight, we don't like you. You ain't white. You ain't right. That type of stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like, we used to get in fights all the time. These white people used to come to our house, rip off the mailbox all the time. I guess to them that was fun for them. You know what I mean? My dad painted the mailbox like the Mexican flag. You know what I mean? He's proud of his culture and where he comes from. You know what I mean? Understandable, like everybody should be. And so every week, boom, they would knock down the mailbox. Boom, boom, boom. Every week. They'd come, they'd throw all their beer bottles in our driveway. Every week. It's like every weekend they'd go party and then they come. It's like they had nothing else better to do but then to go pick on these this Mexican family that just moved in. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, we could have did a lot of things like we used to do in the city, but, you know, moving to a small town from the city, you think, you know what I mean? You think more logically. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much aggression. You'd be like, man, I'm just going to get these people. I'm going to just, you know, and you just want to go. And you just want to beat up people, you know, because they don't like you because your skin color is brown. You know what I mean? So I guess it was like the tables turn type deal. You know what I mean? I'm fighting blacks because that's what I was taught. And these whites are taught, if you ain't white, you ain't right. You know what I mean? So now I'm on the short end of the stick. You know what I mean? Now I'm feeling the racism. You know what I mean? Now, you know, I'm getting it left and right just because I'm brown, you know, and these people come over here and they try destroying our stuff at our house. And, you know, I mean, we could have beat them up all the time. We could have done lots of stuff. But, you know, moving from the city, you're in a small town, you're going to get caught. You know what I mean? My mentality at that age now, I'm 15. I'll kill you and throw you in your cornfield. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I was at. But it's like, you got to think smart now. You know, in the city, you do stuff, you run, you can get away. You have a better chance of getting away in the city than you do in a small town. And I learned that too, because then we would get into fights. We would start fighting people and stuff. And I haven't been to jail. I never went to jail until I moved to Grant Park. When I moved to that small town, I was constantly going to jail because it's like you got people that try to act like something they ain't. But then when stuff hits the fan, they quick to tell on you. You know what I mean? It's a small town. They quick to tell on you. Or the police, they didn't even like us. You know what I mean? The police were like, we're going to keep a close eye on these brown you know what I mean? So it's like, constantly, I was always going to jail. You know what I mean? So it was like, what, you know, ain't no point in you doing anything. You try to do something to somebody, you're going to go to jail because they're going to tell on you. Or the police are already paying attention. You know what I mean? They got tabs on you. So, I mean, but it's weird because after the first couple of years of living there, I mean, it was every weekend, constant. They come, and I mean, it got to the point where we would stake out for them. They thought we were like some dumb beaners or something. Like, we waited for them. We got to after like the third hit, the fourth hit, we're like, nah, we waited for them. And I mean, them people, they got a surprise that night. They came knock the mailbox. Didn't know we were like little army men sitting down in the cornfield waiting for them. They came up, blah, blah, boom. We just moved on them. We all, I remember that baseball bats, 12 gauge. I mean, we was ready. We were tired. We were tired of getting picked on just because we were brown. So we were like, you know what? You got to get it. You know what I mean? You're going to always constantly come destroy our stuff. Well, we're going to give it to whoever gets caught. You getting it. You know what I mean? And just the middle of the night, we would wait Friday night after school. Be like, yo, all right. We're posting up in the cornfield on the side of the driveway. We waiting for them. When they come, we know they coming. Because they come every weekend. We know they coming. We waiting for them. We out there with baseball bats, 12 gauge rifles. We just waiting, you know, because we're like, that's it. You get tired. You get tired of getting picked on all the time. And, you know, you try to be level-headed and cool-headed. You know, we're like, we ain't going to do anything. We're in a small town. We're going to get in trouble. But after you get picked and poked and poked and poked and poked and poked, and you try to turn the cheek, you try to turn the other cheek, it gets tough. It gets hard to turn the cheek so many times. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's it. We had it. We was ready for whatever. We was ready for war. You know what I mean? And so that's why I understand some of the stuff, you know what I mean? There's good and there's bad going on right now. And I understand some people are hurt. Some people are tired. Some people are just ready to fight. You know what I mean? Because that's how we were. We were ready to fight all these white people. We was ready. We were tired. We were done with it. You know? I mean, they never did it after that night because that truck, whoever came through, they got it. You know what I mean? They got it. But we ain't going to speak on that because it's the past. It doesn't even matter. But I mean, those people that was doing it, a lot of them that was doing it, so that person, them people, they got it that night. But it's after so long, I mean, they stopped. I mean, the people that did it, we ended up becoming best friends. We started hanging out. I mean, they came, they told me, like, yo, that was us. We're sorry, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Because then they started really seeing who we were. You know what I mean? After the time went by, they took us for what we were and not because of our skin color. You know what I mean? We became best friends. I'm talking about, like, and this ain't not a racist comment, but everybody knows, like country, hillbilly type people, you know what I mean? Like, nowadays, I consider myself a millbilly, you know what I mean? A Mexican hillbilly, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? So I don't think that is a racist term, but I mean, you got these country boys, you know what I mean? They finally, took us for what we were and not for our skin color. And we became best friends. We hung out. Maybe they were prejudiced underneath. They hid it. Who knows? I don't know. But we were friends afterwards. That's all that mattered. You know what I mean? We put our skin tones to the side and took each other for what we were. You know what I mean? And so that's one part, you know what I mean? And then 18, I'm still gangbanging, you know what I mean? I'm still getting into it. Blacks and the blacks are still getting into it. Me, I mean, I got jumped by, I remember my 18th birthday, I got jumped by, they call this place up north, it was called Little Africa. It's an apartment complex, it's all blacks, you know what I mean? And I got jumped by that whole complex. My 18th birthday. That jump, I mean, I couldn't even tell you a number. I know it was more than 50 dudes. I thought I was dead, honestly. I mean, when I came to the police and the ambulance trying to wake me up. I came up, I didn't know where. I mean, I started swinging because last thing I remember, I was fighting. And then next thing you know, I'm waking up to lights and stuff. So I start swinging because the last thing I remember was I was fighting a whole bunch of bunch of people. So I was like, oh, man, I keep on wanting to swear, like, say the F word and stuff. But that's those are flaws that I still have that I'm working on. But so I get jumped. I mean, I had it. I deserved that. You know what I mean? I deserved it. A lot of stuff that happened to me in my life, I deserved it. So I don't really, you know what I mean? I don't, you know what I mean? Those were lessons learned. Those were those are what made me who I am today. You know what I mean? Those are why I am the way I am. You know what I mean? And God has a lot to do with it. So anyway, so I moved to Tennessee. Here we go. Small little white town. Well, I didn't move to Tennessee. I got kicked out to Tennessee. So my dad was like, that's it. We're done. We're tired of you. You're giving us headaches. You know what I mean? I'm going to jail. I'm getting in trouble. I'm almost losing my life here and there, with the gang stuff. So my dad's like, you ain't got no choice. You gone. So they set me up. They, got me to come hang out with them, this and that. And, shipped me off. Went to Tennessee. So now I'm in this new world. Don't know what's happening. But all I can remember is growing up in school, you learn the South is racist. And the North is what saved us. That's what, you know what I mean? That's what they brainwash us in the school. They're like, the South is racist. The North is what saved us. You know what I mean? So it's like, so I'm in Tennessee now. I'm like, dang. Now, I've already had a little piece of the white racism towards me, in a small town of Grant Park. So I'm like, man, I'm about to go to the South. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm 18. I'm like, I'm afraid I'm going to get lynched. Because, you learn the history of school, this and that, and you just truly believe the South is racist. At least that's me. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of other people out there that believe the South is racist. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, there's racism exists everywhere. But you know what blew my mind? Is I'm in this small town and I thought these white people were going to lynch me. I was like, man, they don't like me. I'm brown. That was the most welcoming, loving community. I mean, I'm sure there was racism people there. It's everywhere. You know what I mean? And that's why I would joke around, but like, maybe they are racist. They hide it. We're up north. They ain't afraid to tell you they racist. That's the difference between the South. Maybe the people in the South, they racist, but they hide it. You know what I mean? But I remember moving there and everybody's, hey, waving. Hey, how you doing? And I mean, to me, I'm like, whoa. This young, dumb brown dude is gangbanging is not used to this. You know what I mean? It's already experienced racism, already gave off racism. You know what I mean? And it's like, whoa. Like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? It's a new vibe. Everybody's welcoming. Everybody's loving. Everybody's caring. it's like this whole new vibe. And I'm like, whoa, like, something ain't right. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, maybe they just playing their part. Maybe they just acting nice. But really deep down inside, they probably, as soon as they walk away, like, stupid beaner, you dumb spick. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, they just acting nice, but when they leave, they just the dumb beaner, you know what I mean? Or something like that. That's what I was believing. I mean, I met a lot of good people out there. Like, Tennessee was a huge chapter in my life, and I'm glad everything went down the way it did, and God sent me that way. You know what I mean? But, yeah, so then I started hanging out with the black people. You know what I mean? Because I'm still thinking, like, it's the South. You know what I mean? You can't trust everybody. Yeah, they waving, they saying hi, they being nice, but, hey, there's still got to be some KKK members lying around here, right? That's what I'm thinking. So I'm like, well, who do I fit with? The blacks, right? Brown and black got to stick together, right? That's what I'm thinking. So I started hanging out with the blacks. You know what I mean? Now, at this time, too, well, for the first year or two while I was out there, I was still, gangbanging. You know what I mean? At least I thought I was gangbanging. But, I mean, nobody gangbangs out there in Tennessee. So I'm like, what am I gangbanging against? Who? You know what I mean? The mountains? What? You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody out here about that. So after, when 18, 19, 20, when I hit 20, I had a lot of stuff going on in my life, this and that, blah, blah. But I started, like, opening up my eyes. You know what I mean? I started, like, really thinking, like, I was like, I'm in this new place. Nobody knows me. You know what I mean? Like, for the first 2 years, I didn't talk to nobody. I hung out with my brother. It's probably going to cut off, so I'm going to have to redo this. Well, not redo this, but add on. So, let's just stop and I'll come back real quick.
I live for God. I'm walking with the King. Most of you would say the materialistic things. Jesus saved me, so I've been set free. Now I'm on the streets, no chains behind me. Hear what I speak, know what I teach. Yeah, it's what the Lord taught me. Lift me up, pick me out, rescue me from my own defeat. So I'm walking fast down every block. Yeah, my hands, they start to move, they start to do that milli ride. Planting seeds, saving souls, helping others wherever I go. Yeah, I drink from the spiritual rock, so with Christ I'll never fall. Oh my God, I trust in thee, let me not be ashamed. Let not my enemies triumph over me.